Join me as I prepare a classic Newfoundland dish known as Fisherman's Brews, which is a hearty traditional meal made the same way for almost 200 years. I'll walk you through the step-by-step process of making this beloved recipe, share some fascinating history about its origins, and due to a mishap of my own doing, I get two uninvited guests for supper. I'll take you on a scenic visit to the charming village of Petty Harbour-Maddox Cove, and of course, I'll be announcing the qualifier for the MFS Midsummer Giveaway. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast, a fan of rustic cooking, or just want to learn more about our amazing province, this one is jam-packed. So let's get into it. Hey everybody, today we're going to make something that most Newfoundlanders call Fisherman's Brews. Now this has been a staple for us as long as fishermen needed a quick meal that didn't require preservation. Its simple ingredients and even simpler recipe will make for a special dinner no matter how you cut it. Brewis or brews is from the Old English word meaning soaked. Now according to the Purity Pack, they're telling us that it's actually a word meaning broken, and it was kind of a slang term used by fishermen. But my research says that Brewis is an Old English word and it means soaked. So if you agree or disagree with that, make sure you leave a comment to tell me what you think the word Brewis means. But that's my research anyway. Thanks to my sister-in-law Colleen for the lovely saltfish, which I'm going to show you here in a second. So for the ingredients, you're going to need 2 or 3 loaves of what's called hard bread. So this is hard bread, and basically it's a soaked hard tack. Okay, it used to be called hard tack, and obviously the purpose of it is that it could be dehydrated to the point where it wouldn't spoil easily. So then you would rehydrate it on the boat and then allow yourself to have some carbohydrates, which they would have needed for sure. You're also going to need a pound of salt fish. Now this fish I have here that Colleen graciously gave me is actually salted and dried fish. If you're going to use that type of fish, you've got to remember to water it 2 or 3 times at least before you use it over the period of say 10 hours, 10 or 12 hours. So for my purposes today, I'm just going to use salt dried codfish. It's my favorite, kind of has a buttery, flaky consistency when it's done, so it's really, really good. Next, you need a 1/4 pound of salt pork. Salt pork is basically, some people call it scrunchions. Typically I call it scrunchions after it's been cooked. But salt pork is fat. It's fatback. So you're going to need about, like I said, about a 1/4 or a 1/2 pound of salt pork. 2 large onions. Okay? 2 large onions. And for this one, I'll use probably 4 medium-sized potatoes. White potatoes, red potatoes, doesn't really matter. Some people don't include potato in their Fisherman's Brews. I have, since I met my wife, I have at least included it because I do like the flavor of the potatoes in the Fish and Brews, and it is quite good. So by all means, you can decide whether or not you're going to do that or not. Now, the night before you plan to cook this delicious meal, you're going to need to soak the hard bread and the fish overnight. Obviously, you're going to rehydrate the bread. That's not going to be cooked per se, it's just going to be heated up. The fish itself is preserved in salt, so it needs to be desalted or desalinated in order to get the salt out so that it doesn't ruin your meal. I usually change the water over a period of 12 hours 2 or 3 times. Just change it out, rinse, change it out, and you should be good to go. I mean, you can taste it once you start cooking as well, right? So let's get started. First, we're going to peel the potatoes, cut up the pork, and the onions, okay? And they're going to be kept all separate. I'm going to put the potatoes in a bowl for now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to throw the potatoes in with the fish, so we'll have it all together when we start boiling it. Cut them up in, I don't know, a couple inches so that they're nice and soft by the time you get to the 20 20-minute mark on the boil. If it looks odd, it's because I'm left-handed and everything looks backwards to people that are right-handed. So cheers to those people out there that are patties like me. We manage. It's not the disability that you guys think it is. Although my mother-in-law used to think it was. And back in the day, I remember being in elementary school, my mother going to a parent-teacher interview, and the teacher at the time saying we have to get him out of being left-handed because it's going to cause problems for him cognitively later. Some would argue she was right. All right, get rid of the potato skins. Let's get our onion cut up. This was always a Friday meal for us. I remember Mom always making this on Friday for some reason. And sometimes she would make the Fisherman's Brews, and sometimes she would make the Fish and Brews. Fish and Brews was basically the exact same meal, except you didn't kind of mix it all together. So for this, I typically cut my onions in rather large chunks, like so. Put those there for now. All right, so now that we've got our pork and our onions diced up, we're gonna get ready to fry this in just a second here. Fishermen back in the old days, they stock up when they went out to sea. They could be gone for a week, 2, 3 weeks at a time. And of course, they'd stock up on those items that weren't perishable. So salt pork was preserved by the salt. Fish obviously was dried and salted. And hard tack or hard bread because it kept well without any refrigeration. It was a hearty meal and easy to prepare on those long and rough voyages to the Grand Banks, for example. Now this meal does not take long to make. I'm going to render down the salt pork in a pan until the pork is brown and crunchy. My recommendation is to turn it on medium, not much more than medium to do that. If you put your pan up too high, what's going to happen is it's going to burn on the outside and still be kind of gooey on the inside. So slowly render out your pork and fry your onions in a separate pan. So once the pans are heated up, let's get the pork and the onion in separate pans and get those nice and soft. Add a little pepper. Add a little pepper to the onions. And a tiny bit of salt to the onions, just to ensure that it retains its color. So what I'm going to do is, as that's rendering down, I'm going to put on about 6 to 8 cups of water. Get that boiling so I can add my fish and potatoes once the pork and the onions are almost done. So this meal does not take long to make. I'm going to render down the salt pork in a pan until the pork is brown and crunchy. Here in Newfoundland, these delicious little heart stoppers are called scruncheons. I strongly suggest you eat them in moderation. In a separate pan, I'm going to fry the onions. Now, once the pork is fried and crunchy and the onions are softened, you're ready for the next step. So the next step is to basically get about 8 to 10 cups of water in a large cooking pot up to a boil, up to a rolling boil, and then we will add the potatoes and fish, which are going to go on for 20 minutes. You're going to see as you go that the Pork fat is going to kind of render down. It's going to create a liquid, and the pieces are going to slowly but surely get crunchy. That's when it changes from pork fat to scrunchions. I like mine done pretty brown. I don't like to chew into a piece of pork, so I usually have these pretty browned up. So we have the fish and the potatoes in now. That's going to be in there for 20 minutes. At the 20-minute mark boiling, I'm going to add my hard bread. Just let that heat up for 2 or 3 minutes, and all of the stuff that's in the pot boiling will be finished. But while that's cooking, let's pay a little visit to a village on the outskirts of St. John's called Petty Harbour-Maddox Cove. This quaint little fishing village of less than 1,000 people is nestled in the heart of Motion Bay and about 10 kilometers from St. John's. This site has been occupied by Europeans since 1598. It has a rich and storied history, having been invaded by the French forces in 1696. Considering its small size, it has produced several notable Canadians, including Alan Doyle of Great Big Sea fame. The name originates from the French Petty Havre, meaning small harbor, as it was first settled by the French. While it may be small in size, it's massive in personality, and the people here are definitely good as gold. Many of them very talented musicians, all of them hard-working. Now, because of its spectacular scenery, several big Hollywood movies have filmed in Petty Harbour, including Orca, Peter Pan and Wendy, Braven, and even Aquaman. If you're in the St. John's area, make sure you get down there and check out this gem of a town, including its museums, ice cream shops, and Chafe's Landing that boasts some of the best fish and chips in the area. But now, let's get back to a different kind of fish recipe. Oh, shit.
Valid user code. Please re-enter a valid user code. Fire alarm silenced. Hallway smoke detector fire emergency. System is now disarmed.
I promise I'd include the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, we just hit the ugly. I lost track and didn't pay attention to my pork, and I ended up burning it. Oh, the alarm is going again. I ended up burning my pork fat. You gotta really pay attention and make sure you cook it on low heat. Oh well, it happens. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chuck this and I'm gonna start over with the pork fat. Again, everything else is almost. This just got worse. I guess my alarm company summoned the fire department. Oh God. Here they come. Hello.
Hey there. How's it going?
It's going fine.
Okay.
I was. Everything's fine.
No problem?
No. My alarm went off and I canceled it, and they didn't call me.
Oh, okay.
So I was actually. Do you want to come in for a second?
Yeah. I'm just going to cancel my other trucks first.
Yes. For God's sake. Sorry about that, boys.
Yeah.
But it sent you guys anywhere.
Yes. As soon as it goes through, like we'll always send at least one truck.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I'd rather come to.
Yeah.
This is easy.
All right.
Just get smoking. We went over the door.
Yeah, I got them over there now. Yeah, everything is best on.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Don't worry. And I didn't have to. Shout out to St. John's Regional Fire Department, who were quick on the ball. Even though I turned the alarm off, I guess they still got dispatched. They were here in literally a couple of minutes. So, way to go, boys! Thanks for coming. Glad it wasn't something serious. You'd almost think that was planned, but it wasn't. yeah, this cooking video turned into a bit of excitement. So a lot of embarrassment and a little bit of excitement. After the vegetables and the fish have been cooking for 20 minutes, throw in the hardtack just for 5 minutes, 3 or 5 minutes, just to let it warm up, and then we're going to take it all out. All right, it looks like everything is pretty much done. I'm going to take everything off the boiler and drain it, and then I'm going to take the bones out of the fish. So all I do, because this fish comes with bones in it, I'm just going to take it out and just kind of pull it apart. Most of the bones should kind of fall out. Be extra careful, you don't want to get a bone in there. Throw it in there. Get the skin off. It's hot. Should have asked the boys, the fire department boys, to stick around for a bite to eat, I suppose. They didn't seem overly interested in being on camera, so I didn't want to push the issue. Yeah, if you're careful, it's still pretty hot, but you can kind of just lift the bone directly off the meat, like so. And I still check it just to make sure, but there's really nothing in there to worry about. All right, once I got the fish in there, I'm going to take the remainder of the brews and the potatoes. We're going to throw that in, like so. The only other ingredient that I need to throw in here now is the onions. A lot of people use a masher for this. I don't. I used to, but my sister-in-law in Twillingate, Marie, if you're watching, Marie, thanks for this tip. They don't do it that way. They just cut it up with a knife. And the benefit of this, from my perspective, is that it gives you a much better texture. If you mash it all up, it's kind of like a gummy, it's just not appetizing. This, on the other hand, all the vegetables, all the onions, all the delicious fish, it's all mixed together, but it's kind of a little bit chunky, which is the way I like it. We are done. Nothing left to do now, except plate it up, add some delicious scrunchions, and we're off to the races. Add a little piece of lemon for looks. And of course, one of my favorite condiments, mustard pickles on the side. Fisherman's Brews. Nothing to do now except give it a taste. Oh, cooked to perfection. Not too salty, not too bland. Absolutely delicious. I can see why this was such a treat to the fishermen. Okay, well, if you've been following my channel or any of the other involved NL YouTubers channels, you know that MFS Baits has sponsored a really cool contest to promote Newfoundland YouTubers. I think there's somewhere around 21 or 22 Newfoundland content creators that are involved in this contest. As I said before, MFS Baits is going to provide the bulk of the prize, but each of us, for the most part, have chipped in a few things as well, so it should be a really, really good prize. What it's time to do now is to select a lucky qualifier from my channel. Thanks to everyone that participated. We've all been so happy to see Newfoundland content grow during this contest. Bigger channels have gotten bigger, smaller channels have gotten bigger. Everybody seems to be attracting subscribers, And that's fantastic. It's good for us, but it's also good for people that enjoy YouTube content. I'm a big promoter of YouTube, and MFS Baits has always been a big promoter of Newfoundland content. So this is a good contest. It fits well with my channel, and I'm really interested to see who the qualifier is going to be. So the lucky qualifier is... Congratulations. Your name is going to be entered for the main draw on June 21st on Tucker and I channel. The Tucker and I channel, which I'll have in this video as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and hit notify if you want to get a heads up when I upload new videos. You never really know what's going to happen. This was supposed to be a simple little cooking video, and we had a 3-alarm fire. Crazy. Anyway, no one got hurt, no damage, it's all good. All the best. Remember, get outdoors, blow the stink of the house off you. We'll see you on the next one.